I was a teenager deeply in love, and I had a boyfriend at the time who was long distance and promised me many things. We spoke often and we talked about a future together, and it was looking good so far. Well, me being young and naive, I wanted him to be the one, but I also wanted him to be more open and tell me all his secrets and feelings. I was going to go visit him and he talked about other things that I was not ready for. But I was willing to take all risk just for him. When I noticed he wasn't being very communicative and all he wanted to talk about was sex, it really got me thinking. He did always tell me that he loved me and he showed me a ring that he was going to give me, but at that time I needed assurance. Thinking of way for him to be more open and honest, I took it upon myself to find a solution. Just to clarify, I have never casted a spell before that, and this was my first time. I got the idea because my mom is clairvoyant and a bit psychic at times. She doesn't want to develop her gift. She often helps others and I see her lighting candles, and right now she is helping my sister with her boyfriend, and so everything she did just gave me ideas. She is not a witch or doesn't do black magic, she just uses candles, prayers, herbs and oils. Anyway, for the past days I was being fed up that I was the one putting more effort into our relationship, and I wanted and needed him to be more open and honest with me. I wanted him to feel the same way as I felt. I took it upon myself to Google some love spells, and not sure the name, but something similar to obedient spells, not quite though. That evening I went to a shed I own and I followed the instructions. I bought red, pink and white candles. I had a bowl, with special oils I can't remember. I printed his pictures and I had the spell verse ready to go. So I had to put his picture in the oil with both our names, and while lighting the candle I had say the spell out loud followed by, "Mote it be." I also tried a few other enchanting spells, and did other things to his pictures. In my mind at that age I thought I was awesome for doing this, and I really made myself believe it was going to work. Well, darkness was approaching and I was headed home and I started to feel uneasy. I even told my mom that I was feeling a bit scared, and I was honest, I told her I casted a spell, but I never told her what kind. So I went to my room and she went to hers. Until, minutes later I hear an owl, except this really was no owl. To start with, I am Hispanic. For those of you who may not know, we often believe that witches can turn into owls, or how we say, lechuzas, they look like owls, but with other different features. Well, we hear the loud bird just saying, grr, blah, dai, da, a whole bunch of gibberish, and it was very loud and it wouldn't shut up. My mom came to my room running and asked if I heard that. I confirmed that I did. We were standing in our living room and there is a hallway in the living room that leads to 2 bedrooms. While I was standing there I happened to look where the hallway was. My mom was looking the opposite direction. Well, what I saw next really creeped me out. I saw an orange light from the hallways, and there was a doorway where a shadow of a woman was walking out from. All of this was in an orange silhouette. At that moment I was so afraid that I yelled. And I gave my mom a huge hug, and I told her it was all my fault for casting a spell. I had told her what I'd seen. She almost did not believe me. The minute I said I was sorry, there was no sign of the orange light or shadow woman. On another note, the lechuza was still being loud and rowdy. My mom closed the door. She ran to her room. I promise this thing was so loud. And it was as if it were trying to speak. It didn't stop speaking. I walked to my mom's room and I saw her go for a bag where she grabs a prayer card she has. She asked me to close the door and said a prayer, but backwards. She really did shock me with this one. Shortly after repeating this a few times over and over, the lechuza was gone. Everything was silent and back to normal. I must say I really did learn my lesson about trying cast a spell, especially it done in a serious note. I know now to take these things seriously and with a cautious manner. From time to time, I do like to read spells, but never out loud, and I have not yet tried to cast another spell.